Hey everybody, welcome to another Practical IT video. Today we're going to continue a small sort of mini series using Unix type technologies on Windows. In this case, we are going to get the OpenSSH server installed on a Windows 11 machine and connect to it from macOS. Let's get started. Have you ever wanted to be able to connect to your Windows machine directly to a command line interface to run winget updates or some other command line tool and not bother with remote desktop? Well, I've got news for you. Recent versions of Windows 10 and 11 have the capability to run OpenSSH server. It is not enabled by default, and there are a few steps that you have to go through to get it installed and to allow connections. But once you're done, you can use any SSH client on any operating system you want and connect to a Windows machine. Note, please do not open this up directly to the internet unless you know how to protect your machine properly. Let's look at a demo. Here I am on my Mac, and I'm going to connect to my Windows machine using the same command structure that I would use to connect to a Linux machine or a BSD machine or what have you. It prompts for the password just like normal. And look at that. Microsoft Windows version 10.0.19045.2846. Copyright Microsoft Corporation, all rights reserved. And you've got a regular command line. Now, note, by default, this is without having gone through any major configuration. So the default shell is going to be the traditional command prompt, as in command.exe. There are ways that you can configure this to give you PowerShell instead, but it's going to be up to you to determine whether that's something you want to do. But for instance, on this machine, I can do winget upgrade all, and I just ran this command, so it shouldn't turn back much of anything. But as you can see, I'm on my Mac and I'm connected to my Windows 10 machine, and I am running winget upgrades without any problem. Now, one thing I do need to tell you is if you try to do Command D, which is normally exit for a Linux or Unix system, it's not going to work. You actually have to type exit. I have not yet tested this with PowerShell as the default shell for this, but theoretically it should allow you to use Control D to exit the session if you are using PowerShell. Let's now move over to the installation part of this, and we'll turn to my Windows 11 machine as an example. Alright, we are here on my Windows 11 machine. And the first thing we need to do is enable the OpenSSH server. This is not installed by default, so we're going to start by going to Settings, Apps, Optional Features. We are going to say View Features, OpenSSH. I actually do have that installed, but you would enable it through View Features, OpenSSH. If you didn't have it installed, it would show up in the list, and you would click the option to install it. Now, I have this installed already, but I have not configured it. So the next piece of the puzzle is we need to go back to Start, and we need to do Firewall, Windows Defender Firewall. We need to go to Advanced Settings, and the Windows Defender Firewall with Advanced Security screen is going to come up with. We're going to click on Inbound Rules, and then we're going to say New Rule. We're going to select Port and click Next. We are going to specify port 22 and click Next. We're going to allow the connection. Next. We're going to leave all three check boxes on. Next. and we're going to say OpenSSH and finish. One other thing we need to check on is what the IP address is and what our actual user is called in the terminal. Okay, so as you can see here, my name is the username, and we'll do IP config, and we'll see that this is 74.85. Okay, and we'll switch back to our Mac. Okay, SSH Jeremy at 172.16.74.85, and it doesn't look like it's letting us in. So we'll take a minor detour for troubleshooting. After I enabled this, I did not restart the computer. One other thing I want to check here first. We'll go into services and we'll come down here to OpenSSH server, and you can see that it is set to manual. We double click on that, change manual to automatic, and start the service. We'll apply, okay, and now we'll go back to the Mac one more time, and we will try connecting again. And would you look at that? Microsoft is a little tricky with their version numbers, right? So I was looking at the top line here, where it still reads version 10.0.22621.1702. Well, you don't want to look at that. You want to pay attention to the host name. So I am, in fact, on the Windows 11 VM. So we can run from here, winget upgrade all, and it's going to run, and we're going to see a different set of packages come up. Or in this case, we're going to see just the message that we don't need to upgrade anything, and that there is one package which has a version number that can't be determined. So if we were to add include unknown to this, we might see something a little different. So again, this is just the Disk Genius, and it's probably installing the same version because their package for winget is not properly reporting the version number. Keep in mind that the package manager in Windows is still a relatively new thing compared to the Linux world, where package managers have been around for more than 20 years. So I will try to cut them a little bit of slack, but they do have some work they need to address. And with that all in mind, we've come to the end of another video. I hope you got some value out of this, and maybe you will try using OpenSSH server on your Windows machine. Again, I find this to be very useful in my own network. I would not, again, I will stress this, I would not open this up directly to the internet. But that's a topic for another video. Thanks once again for watching. Do what you do down below the video, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.